Alright, Quinn. I mean, nothing but the heaviest of disrespect to you right now. But I put all of the dishonor on your farmland. I'm talking salting your fields, polluting the water to your livestock. I hope all your crops die out. Oh, what's rockin' and rollin', everyone? How's it going? Roggenboggen here with my battle against the man, the founder, the buddy, Mr. Quincy Adams. No team preview, no team builder here for this one. We are just going in, and we are just doing what we can. Quinn's been playing absolutely wild with this team, so we're just gonna see what happens here. Okay. No cat. Wow, very interesting to see. I am absolutely okay with that. He did bring size spam, kind of like I thought. We see the Galarian Wheezing, which is okay. I'm not too bummed about that. And was not expecting the Rhyperior, so this is pretty interesting. I'm going to lead with the Choice Scarf Vaporeon, and I am going to OHKO his Iron Shreds turn 1, because he's going to want to Volt Switch on me. And that is exactly how that's going to go down, and I refuse to acknowledge any other timeline. What else didn't you bring? No Keldeo. Glad to not see that. Don't super care about it. What else did I frickin' think you were gonna bring that you didn't? Oh, you didn't bring the Drifblim. Kind of thought there was a small chance that thing would show up. I'm okay that it didn't. I do kind of... Nah, I was gonna say I kind of wish I had Frostlass over Persian, but I don't. So, Hatterene's looking pretty good. We just gotta chip some things down, and hopefully we can just make Gouging Fire do Gouging Fire things. But good luck, have fun to my friend, my homie, my opponent. We aren't necessarily knocked out of playoffs if we lose this match, but it is very difficult for us to make it if we lose, and I think it's kind of the same case for Quinn. So there is no reason you should stay in with this mod. None at all. I absolutely obliterate your face. And I don't think you can really do anything to me. I can't imagine it'd be a Sash lead. But Raging Bolt is pretty free, and if I am to just flip turn on this thing, I think we have a pretty safe switch in Corviknight. So let's just flip turn for now. I'm expecting the Raging Bolt. And if Raging Bolt comes out, what is our switch into this? Hatterene? Probably Hatterene? I could go Cat, and I could just knock off, but I kind of want to save it for the electric types. I could also Parting Shot. That kind of sounds fun. Parting Shot into Toedscruel. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. Could sub, could click Calm Mind. I don't really care about either one. Okay, so I want to see... We know it's not Scarf, so that's good information. It only outspeeds our Gouging Fire if it's Timid Max Speed. So let's go into Toedscruel. This thing shouldn't be able to two-shot us with anything. Okay, so it just drops a Draco. Probably going to be... Oh, it's a crit. That's cool. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw the eject pack. Okay, so we got that item out of the way. That crit is really a bummer. Am I able to tell anything about its investment with that? This thing comes in. This thing could be scarfed. We might see an ice spinner. I really have no reason not to go into Corviknight on this thing. I want to keep this thing alive. Maybe. Yeah. I really don't like this sequence of events where I always get crit early into the match and lose a pretty valuable mon. Because it's dumb. I'm just gonna go Corviknight. That way I can defog rocks, I can see if we have the ice spinner. Probably just Iron Heads, too, potentially. If it's a Volt Switch here, that was an amazing prediction. Nope, it is Ice Spinner, so good to see that. Does absolutely nothing. We get our chippies. And I don't think you necessarily appreciate a body press into anything. I am also curious if this thing is packing the Volt Switch. But with the way he brought that in, I almost wonder if it's scarfed. That doesn't look like any banded damage. 14 to 16, that looks about right. I also don't think you would have any coverage necessarily for this. So I am going to... I'm going to make a play and either bounce back rocks or get this in against the Galarian Weezing. Because that sounds fun for me. Ah, you didn't switch! Is it because you're setting rocks? I bet it's because you're setting rocks. It is not because you're setting rocks, it is because you're clicking Volt Switch. And that's a bummer, but it does nothing to us, which is fine. It just freely invites Rhyperior? I don't think you would bring in Armarouge or Indeedee. You could bring in the Raging Bolt just to Volt Switch. Okay, so it is going to be Rhyperior. I don't know what Rhyperior wants to do. Hatterene staying healthy is more important now because of the damage Toedscruel took. This thing, I don't know if it's banded, I don't know if it's scarfed, I don't know what it wants to do, but it should put us into Citrus Berry range, which is fine. And I can kind of comfortably Baton Pass. But I want to throw out a Future Sight first. Thunder Punch, okay. Predicting Corviknight, that's fine. It is Life Orb. Knowing that is scary. And this thing can actually possibly maybe kill me with an Earthquake. So if I know Quinn, he's stubborn, and he's going to want to click Thunder Punch again. Let's go into the cat. Why not? Dawn Pass wouldn't have been bad there, but Quinn doesn't really have anything that appreciates a Future Sight. The only thing would be Armarouge. Okay, so it is just Earthquake, so Corviknight would have been the better play, but then I would have been in an awkward position. I could. I really have no reason not to just Parting Shot again and just be annoying with this thing. But I could also knock off. But I don't really want to lose my cat just yet. So let's do this. Okay, so we don't see the switch, so this thing is going to take a big future sight. And now I think we're going to go into the Corviknight. Even if it's -1, we can roost off any potential Thunder Punch damage. Playing a little more passive than I would like in this early game. Does get the rocks off, which is quite unfortunato, but we also have the defog on this, so we can just get rid of it immediately. I don't know how much this does. Oh, it just kills. Okay. That's actually kind of bad, because it just freely invites Raging Bolt. Or Armarogue. What is our switch into this thing? Huh. I think there's value in all these ones, but I am afraid. So in the off chance he tries to like set up or something, I do think I'm just gonna chuck out Toad Scroll. If it is an Armor Cannon, that's a move, right? Armor Cannon, we will have lowered stats. And I think, what do I want to do about that? Do I care about that? I wonder if this thing's like scarfed, maybe. I am also scarfed. Okay, there's no way you want to stay in on this thing, right? The only way you would is if you're weak armor weakness policy. Okay, so let's play this out. Raging Bolt switches into this thing, comes in on Scald, and then we have to sack off Hatterene in that case, which sucks. But I have to create a situation where I can get Corviknight to defog, and that probably is going to be against the Iron Shreds, the DD, or the Weezing. Okay, so if I can't flip turn, I have to Scald and hope I get a burn on Raging Bolt. I could double, but I don't think that does anything for me. Yeah. Our team does not like Raging Bolt. That thing is a massive threat. And I don't have a ground type for Volt Switch. Burn? Can I get reward for my crit earlier? Does not look like it. Sad. Yeah, I think he can just kind of blindly click Thunderbolt without consequence, which sucks. It does indeed suck. Yeah, Thunderbolt. We live on 9, which is kind of cool. Oh no! Oh, that is very disheartening. Alright, well, we'll try to see if we can recreate this. Alright, so we recreated the match pretty closely. The only difference is I actually crit burned our Scald this time on Raging Bolt with Vaporeon. So we're gonna switch into Hatterene on the Volt switch, and we should be right back to where we DC'd. I did ask Quinn if he wanted to recreate. He was fine with that. Didn't really want to go through the hassle of going through it again, so We do have a little bit more HP on Hatterene this time. Honestly, it shouldn't really make any sort of difference. And really the only other thing is we have a little less HP on Persian now, but we are going to ride out the rest of this match from this point and see what happens. See what Quinn actually decides to go into now at this point. I could see Indeedee. I'm okay with Armarouge, I think. I don't like just blindly sacking things to this mon, but I also really don't have much of a choice. So in the off chance we get some setup, I'm going to... I think I want a Future Sight. We should just die here. But, okay, so it is just another Armor Cannon. And I actually do want to see at -1, actually calc this out now. If he has no investment, Flip Turn does do a pretty respectable chunk. But if it is the weakness policy weak armor set, we just straight up lose to this thing. I would love to go into Gouging Fire right now, assuming it's choiced, but it's probably not. So I think instead I want to go with this mon. I want to click Knockoff, and then I can either Parting Shot, I can Endeavor, I can do things. My only fear is that that thing is Scarfed, because I just do not have Raging Bolt switch-ins anymore, so I gotta start making some plays. And kind of a similar situation if we knock off and activate the weakness policy as well. We are in a tough spot. So I think we're just going to Parting Shot. Okay. So that leads me to think he's not weakness policy, because I think he would have kept that. Now this is where I have to defog. I don't get another opportunity to defog. And that is more important for the end game than it is to catch this thing off guard with Vaporeon. So it'll be a -1 volt switch into us, we don't care about that. Unless he brought double rocks in his big brain and stuff, like, good for him. I don't think that would be the case right now. Okay, yep, so just a volt switch, most likely Raging Bolt. This thing does do pretty well. It could also be Armarouge too, and it might just be farming kills with Armarouge. I would be more okay with that. But this thing is nice for the treads specifically. We know it's not Scarfed. I think... Oh god, it would be so nice just to get a Roost off in front of this thing. I should have made this a little faster to potentially outspeed a slow variant, but like... Gouging Fire takes an electric move really well, but he just volt switches, brings in Wheezing, and then we're sad. This thing dies, everything else dies. So I gotta play for the Gouging Fire end game. That's literally my only option, unfortunately. So there's no way we live this. No. But we will see what comes in now. If I had to guess, probably Iron Shreds. Raging Bolt is getting weak enough to the point where I can possibly pick it off with an Alluring Voice from Vaporeon. It's either going to be a Vaporeon cleanup endgame, or it's going to be a Gouging Fire sweep. And I need to see. So Wheezing comes out. Wheezing's fun. And it is neutralizing gas, which is very good to know. Even if we try to set up on this thing with wheezing, we do not accomplish much. So I could potentially parting shot into Vaporeon. I could just try to nuke this thing with Vaporeon too. Hydro Pump plus Hydro Pump is pretty good. Scald Spam is pretty nice too. I could Taunt, because I really don't want like Toxic Spikes or anything going up. I also don't want a Willow going up. But he could just like Strange Steam me. Yeah, we're gonna do this. It will just outright kill our Persian. But oh gosh, we're in a tough situation here. If I Endeavor and he gets down to our HP, he'd be at 39%, and Gouging Fire has a small chance to kill, that's assuming. I can't let him get up the poison though. I can't let him T-Spike. Okay. Hopefully we called it right. Let's see. Okay, he did just go for the attack, unfortunately. Makes sense though. Makes sense indeed. This is unfortunately not a very ideal endgame. My only shot is if Vaporeon can two-shot Raging Bolt with Hydro Pump. Depending on his investment, it might, but I'm guessing it's bulkier and we won't be able to. Because I can't switch in. He does have a 50-50 if Raging Bolt comes in on this thing. And that is to either Draco Vaporeon or like, right, I just have to stay in and Hydro Pump multiple times. Okay. This should do big damage. Okay, so he has a Thunderbolt. That shouldn't kill. No. I just have to click Hydro Pump again. I don't know what we set up on with Gouging Fire. Crit, maybe? I think we have to get a crit to have a chance. Ugh. So no matter, he's just gonna Volt Switch into Treads, like he has to, right? And I can't burn my booster energy, but I should assume I'm faster than the Sing. Yeah, we just have to try to get in range. Okay, we're landing Hydro Pumps, which is really nice. Yeah, he just clicks Thunderbolt. Smart. God, I would love to Dragon Dance on this thing and dodge the Draco. But that's not a realistic option for us, unfortunately. I think what I have to do is I have to Dragon Dance on the Iron Shreds EQ. Because he's not choiced. Anyway, so I have to kill this thing. I either dance on the treads or I dance on the Indeedee. Let's see. The way he brought in treads against Toadstool makes me think it's Jolly. Also, the damage on Corviknight makes me think it's Jolly. So, I should always live EQ. Now, if I Dragon Dance, the other thing would be if it's Scarf Indeedee. Like, no matter what, I'm taking Earthquake here. And we know it's not choice, so I have to Dragon Dance. There's an Earthquake. Okay, that does big damage. We Dragon Dance, we're faster. It's just the Weezing that's alive. Is there any shot that Earthquake kills this thing? Because I would love to not take residual damage from Flare Blitz. If he's not bulky, it has a pretty good chance to kill, and he's chipped, so I kind of want to risk it. Flare Blitz is... How much recoil are we taking from Flare Blitz? 26. I don't have to click Flare Blitz anymore, is the thing. But if he's Shotgun, I get got here. That is... Do I risk it? I'm gonna risk it. Okay, he swapped. He swapped, that's huge. Okay, so the only thing is I don't know how the interaction with neutralizing gas works with photosynthesis if I lose it or if I retain it. Him switching into that makes me think it's Rocky Helmet. Okay. If it's Indeedee here, it's Scarfed and we lose. If it's Armarogue here, it's Scarfed and we lose. Oh, great heavens. Alright, please don't be Scarfed. Please don't be Scarfed. Please don't be Scarfed or Sashed. Please don't be Scarfed or Sashed. Come on. Gouging Fire, please pull this through. Gouging Fire, please pull this through. Oh my gosh. If this thing was Scarfed, I would be inclined to believe that he would go Indeedee first, and then he would bring this in. Oh, you're Endure. Okay. So it's probably Endure, Weakness Policy, Weak Armor. Dang. If we had Scale Shot instead of Outrage, I think we could have had it there, but we would have had to be loaded dice instead of booster, so... He's gonna stunt on us for the win. That's super disheartening, but GG's. Good prep from Quinn. A unfortunate loss, but you know, that's just how it goes. We could have played better and preserved some mons. Yeah, it was just not the best play we had, and prep could have been a little better. But much deserved win to Quinn. Hopefully he can pull it out next week and make a good playoff run. A lot of things have to go in our favor to make playoffs, but it's not looking too good. So we'll just try our best next week and see what happens, but that's going to be it. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you next week.